Welcome to Great on the Grill by Josephine County Farm Collective. I'm Jamie, and today I'm going to show you how to make some stuffed zucchini boats with fresh seasonal produce. We're going to make some stuffed zucchini boats with some garden fresh cherry tomatoes and some lightly shaved and chopped garlic. We're also going to use some sunflower seeds or pine nuts, your preference. Sunflower seeds are a little more budget friendly. Some Parmesan cheese, shredded, shaved, or grated will all work. I like the texture of shredded best. You're gonna need 1 egg and a lemon for this as well. So I already did a couple of these zucchinis, but I'll show you how to hollow out the inside of the zucchini boat. This also works really well if you have a spoon. I usually use a spoon. This is just, you know, a little out of the ordinary. So you're basically just gonna hollow out where these seed lines are. So you'll just either run your knife or your spoon along. First you'll cut off the end of your zucchini, of course. And then you'll just follow the natural bed of the zucchini. And some of it just pops out like that. And like I said, it's a little easier if you have a spoon, but a knife will also work. And if you don't have zucchini, you could also use yellow squash. You could probably even do this with a winter squash as well. They're much harder, so you would probably roast them first and then hollow them out and rebake them, similar to a twice-baked potato. So as well as these 2 medium-sized zucchinis hollowed out, you're gonna need about a cup of stale, crusty bread. I just use natural white bread and let it set out for a little while so it gets a little bit of a texture to it. So we'll crack an egg in there. We'll mix in half of our garlic because we're gonna do a little gluten-free version of this as well. So you'll want to use about a teaspoon. It says 1 to 2 cloves. Don't let anyone tell you how much garlic to use. You make it with love. And then you're going to take a half a pint of cherry tomatoes. We're going to take a half a cup of this shredded cheese. And then we're going to take about a 1/4 cup of seeds. So that looks like about a 1/4 cup. And then we'll mix this all together. So the egg and the bread work as a binder to really make these tomatoes stick together. It'll hold all of this in the zucchini boats really nicely. And then you've got the sweetness of the tomatoes with the saltiness of the seeds and the cheese, and it'll make a really nice full palate meal. So you feel like that has a decently mixed texture to it. We'll add a little salt and pepper, maybe a 1.5 teaspoons to 2 teaspoons of salt. Personal preference there as well. And then a 1/2 teaspoon of black pepper. We'll get it mixed up again. All right. And then we're just gonna take little handfuls of this and we're gonna pop it right in there in our zucchini. Just pack it in. And those tomatoes are gonna add some liquid to this mixture. So that's why you want those breadcrumbs and that egg in there. It's really gonna bind those together to make a much better texture. You can even do more tomatoes and less of the binders. It'll still work really nicely. It's just not gonna be quite as sticky and cohesive. But so much of cooking is personal preference. So if there's things that you want to change or mix up or add, that's all really great. And kind of experiment and see what works and what doesn't. And then I'm going to change my gloves and we'll pack one more without bread. so that we have a nice little gluten-free option. Like I said, it won't stick as nicely, but it'll still give you an alternative option if you are someone who is gluten-free. So we'll layer this in here. We'll mix in some of these tomatoes with this garlic. We'll start with the tomatoes. We'll put a little bit of these sunflower seeds on there to give it some texture. And then we'll top it with a little bit of cheese. Pack it in there again so that it all stays together nicely. And then we are ready to get on the grill. And we're gonna take these zucchini and we're gonna set them on this pan here. This has been preheating as well, so it's nice and hot. And we're on a little bit of an angle here, so things might slip and slide, and that's okay. Things happen. All right, so we're gonna close these in here. We're gonna leave the zucchini boats on for 10 or 15 minutes, and then we're gonna check them. You really want them to be golden brown, and you want the tomatoes to look like they're blistering just a little bit. Okay. Oh yeah, here we go. So blistering on the tomatoes is when the skin starts to shrivel like this and gets wrinkly, and that's kind of where you want to be. So this stuffing is nice and firm when you touch it now. It's not goopy and soft like it was. That means the egg is cooked all the way through. This vegan one or vegetarian gluten-free option is probably just ready to come right off of there because there's no egg to be cooked in it. So we'll slide that bad boy off of there. And we'll pull these off as well. You can always leave them on to cook longer if you want everything to be a little more well done. Here is your 1 hour grate on the grill dinner. You've got